Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Mystery Knitalong with me, Neil, and
I'm Shauna.
Never know how to do these introductions. What did you think of the new credits intro? What would you call that?
Intro. Yeah, I like it. It's updated to the current Knitalong.
Yeah, well, we finally got things to show, haven't we? Whereas last time we were kind of cobbling it together from other things that we've done, and it wasn't really about the Mystery Knitalong that we're doing now, was it? Anyway, so we've got that up to date. So, how's your week been?
It was good. I had Monday off of work because it was a holiday, so lots of knitting. We got the new dog, and that's been interesting. Actually, I guess we had the new dog last time, but yeah, it's been kind of exhausting if I'm being honest. I'm a little bit tired. Work was kind of crazy yesterday, but other than that, really good.
And this clue was, well, for me, I can't speak for you, but this clue for me has been a tough one. For various reasons, more because of a mistake that I made, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, just going back to your dog. So is she settling in well now, or is it still a bit early to say?
It's getting better. Yeah, they're still not at a point where I can leave them unattended together, which I would love because it'd be nice at night just to be able to leave them in the living room. But it's getting better. She's definitely growing less, and they seem to be getting along. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
My week has been pretty standard, really, except he's literally been knitting. I've been so focused on this Rujuu, and for the first time I literally had no spare time. You know, I didn't have an intermission knit because I didn't finish. I've still not finished. So shall we just dive in? So where should we start? Oh, well, do we need to explain?
Let me start with a little intro. Yes. Welcome, everyone. And we are talking about Rujuu, which is the 3rd annual Mystery Knitalong by Zaneteknits. She hosts that over on Skool. Like I said, this is the 3rd year, and it's called Rujuu. So it's a mystery yoke-along or mystery knit-along. We've all been knitting along together. We're finally just finishing up Clue 5, kind of, and getting started on Clue 6, which came out yesterday. Don't forget, right there is the QR code. If you scan that, that will take you to our Telegram group where we are chatting all things Mystery Knitalong.
Brilliant. You do that so well. I'd be umming and erring all the way through it. Right, so where should we start? Okay, shall we start with because we both had to rip back, didn't we, this time? We both had to start again.
Did I rip back on Clue 5? I can't remember.
You did. You had to rip back either the cars or the bricks.
Yes, it was the cars. Yep, you're right.
So that was you've had to do that twice, haven't you? But the first time, what was the issue the first time with the row of bricks?
So the first time I was knitting along on these cars down here for Clue 5, and somehow, I'll be honest, the chart for me on this portion alone is kind of confusing just because of the stitch, not diagram, what's the word I want? Like the symbols, the stitch symbols are, I don't know why, they just confuse my brain. And so I had not offset the cars. They were literally lined up one under the other, but only for like the back half. The front half was fine. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, so I put in needles. I can't remember how far back I had to go, but I put in a smaller set of needles, picked up the right leg of all the stitches, which made it much easier, but also just still a pain in the butt to frog. Better than
you couldn't have got away with that either, could you? If it was only part of it, you couldn't.
It was the back. I was like, who's going to look at my back? But I won't. But yeah, so the other thing that I did for Clue 5 is I did not completely finish the ribbing. I did 2 inches of ribbing, and then I decided to put it on a barber cord just so that I could hold the stitches there, so that once I get the sleeve started, I can see if that raises the length up at all, or if I, want to add another inch, or if I'm good to bind off. I just wasn't confident enough to go ahead and bind off in case I regretted. Yeah, in case I regretted the length.
Yeah, that's going to work for you because you probably will get your sleeves done in time. Because I've not done the ribbing yet on mine because I think we've done the same amount of pattern work, haven't we? Because did you have to do one repeat?
I
or
thought you did
need
a
to
little
do
bit
repeats?
more than me. Did you do the bricks at the bottom? So I did all of chart 5, and then you are to repeat chart 4 for extra length. And so I did all of chart 4 except for the bricks.
Right. So I did all of that and the bricks, but I haven't done the ribbing yet. So we've probably done, we're at a similar length at the moment, probably.
Yes.
But I definitely
you did
need
more knitting
length.
because yours is the largest size.
Well, yeah. I'm surprised you remembered. Well, not
How
only
did I
forget? Well, excuse me. Not only did I have to do more knitting because I'm doing the larger size, but that whole, which one was it? It was so the not the very bottom blue motif. This one here. I knitted the whole thing, did the whole motif, and all the way through it, I did that age-old thing that I'm sure every knitter has done at some point, where you knew it was wrong, but you kept thinking, "Oh, it'll be fine. A few more rows, it'll be fine. I'll just do another 2 centimeters, and
It'll block out. It'll be fine."
And then I think I'd pretty much finished it when I finally said to Shauna or the group, I can't remember. I said, "I think I've messed up here," but I couldn't figure out what I'd done wrong. And well, I knew what I'd done wrong. I'd swapped the yarns over. You know, the dominant color was in my wrong hand. Well, the reason for that was because I'm the opposite to most knitters in that my dominant color in color work has to be in my right hand, where everyone else, it has to be in their left hand for it to work. And I just kept reading the comment about making sure your dominant color is in your left hand, and I think I must have just gone with the instructions, you know, like whereas other clues I've kind of questioned it when I shouldn't have done. This time I should have questioned it and I didn't, so I had to rip back. I think it worked out at just over 6,000 stitches I'd done for that section. Then I had to re-knit it, plus I then had to go back to do clue 4 repeat. So I think altogether I worked it out that it was something like 25,000 stitches that I knitted last week.
That's a lot of knitting.
And yeah, it was a lot. And I was definitely getting to that point where, you know, I just wanted to chuck it across the room. You know what I mean? I just thought, this is really getting on my nerves now. But if I hadn't have had that mistake happen, I'd have been completely fine, and I would have probably had a day maybe to play with. But then I tried it on, and then I knew I needed more length. So then I did the bricks, tried it on again, and I thought I still need more length. And the dilemma I've got is because, and this is, not only am I doing the biggest size, in case you didn't know, I'm probably having to do the longest size as well. So it's like, not only am I wide, I'm long as well. It's like, where's the fairness in that? I don't know. But anyway, so what the issue is for me is whether, see, if I walk around with my arms down, it will probably be long enough as it is with the ribbing. But I'm sure if I lift my arms up, it's going to rise up.
And do you walk around like this?
Do you mean you don't?
I sure don't.
I spend half my day like this. No. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, you don't want to reach for something in the supermarket and then suddenly everything's, you know, falling out kind of thing. Well, then the other thing I was thinking is if I have the cardigan open a lot, which I will, I know I'll wear it open, it's probably long enough. It's only if I wear the cardigan buttoned up that I think it's going to be a problem. But I don't want a cardigan that I can only wear one way. So I think
what do you think about the feedback that I got? Somebody, and I cannot remember which, if it could have been on school, it could have been in our group. I don't remember. But when I was hemming and hawing over length, someone had mentioned to me that I could wear the bottom 1 or 2 buttons undone. Is that something a guy would wear, or is that just like kind of a girl style?
Well, funnily enough, I think if you're wearing like a waist jacket or a suit, you're supposed to open the bottom button because it all. Sorry, I'm going to give you a boring history lesson. It all goes back to a fat king when. Was it George the IV or so? I don't know. One of the Queen's great granddad, I think it was. Queen Victoria's son, I think, because he was so fat and his suit was getting tighter and tighter. He started undoing his buttons when he sat down, and then people started to notice. So then everybody did it, and now it's become a thing where you're supposed to undo the bottom button. But I don't know. I'm just a little bit nervous. I mean, we had a laugh before we went live, because it's not like I'm not going to be wearing something underneath this. You know, I'm going to have a shirt on at the very least, or a t-shirt at the very least, I should say. So if it is gaping open, it's not like I'm going to have a big hairy belly sticking out. But there's that feeling of, oh God, you know, I don't want it to not fit. You know what I mean? So I think what I'm going to do, and this goes against my, you know, the way I normally do things, but I am going to knit an extra motif, I think. And if it's too long, I'll just have to rip it out and deal with it.
What do you think about doing just like the first two from clue 1? Because that will give you, I think you said like you needed about another 2 inches plus ribbing. And that would be just about right, I think.
Yeah, well, I did. People in the chat may have seen, but I thought, oh, I'll rechart that beginning section, because in the original it has all the increases, so you can't really see it very well. But when I recharted it over 24 stitches, I thought I'd done. Oh, you know, when you pat yourself on the back, but then I realised that 1 or 2 of them still doesn't fit within the 24 stitch, you know, chart that we've got. I mean, I could work out, you know, but then you don't want to have a chart that's 36 stitches long instead of the 24. You know, it's going to get complicated. But I think 2 of the 4 do work, so maybe I could use those 2. But I think Joe Bob, I think she did the same, didn't she? But I don't know. I just wonder whether it's going to look right. I don't know.
What about, is yours superwash? Do you think you're going to get a lot of growth? Okay.
No, it's definitely not superwash. So I don't think it's going to grow. Yeah, I think I don't know. This is why I've not carried on. I didn't do any more since Clue 6 has been released. I haven't knitted anymore because I just thought, I don't know what to do. Because then I did a chart as well that was just, sorry, I don't know if you can see. I'll hold it sideways. So this chart here, there we go. I did just the very center bit of it. But then I thought, if you do that, you know, or if I do that, I should say, is it going to be too different? I know it's the same chart, but is it going to look weird?
I don't know. Again, are people going to be focusing in on that portion of your body?
Well, like I said earlier, it depends if the belly's hanging out or not, doesn't it? Yeah, I think, well, one thing I have decided is that I'm not going to start the sleeves until I have actually finished the body, no matter how long that takes me, because next week it's going to be the steeking week, and I don't want to be out of sync with everyone else. So I thought, get the body done, I'll still be able to steek it, and then the sleeves, no matter how long it takes me at that point, at least I'm kind of keeping up with everyone, even though this, because I don't think I'll get this all done by the end of week 7 or week 8 or whatever it is. There's no way I'll get it all finished.
Well, if you haven't seen yet, and people watching haven't seen yet, Jeanette announced that her fashion show, she does like a Zoom kind of call where people who have participated in the knit-along can join in and show off their sweaters. That isn't until April 19th. And so you have a long time to go.
It was really nice finding that out, actually. There was I felt like there was a bit of pressure, just a bit of pressure came off. Because the thing is, we put our own pressure on ourselves, don't we? It doesn't matter whether we get these things finished by the next week or not. I think now, although at the beginning I kept saying how great it was that we had that time to do extra things, you know, like you did the first clue, was it in 4 hours?
Yes.
I think it took me 2 days, but you know, I still had 5 days to do another project. Whereas now, I wish that clue 1 and 2 at least had been the first clue together.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the drawbacks to the mystery knit-along, is like if you had all that free time, you could work ahead in the pattern, but you can't because you don't have the pattern. So, you know, it's one of those. There's definitely things in the plus column and things in the negative column, you know. Overall, though, I really do enjoy the mystery.
Yeah, well, this, for me, it's I'm at a point now where I've gone too far to not carry on. Do you know what I mean? I've invested too much time and yarn to ever, so I will finish this, whether, you know, it kills me to do it, I will get it finished. But I noticed in the chat that there's been, since the sleeve part of the clue was released, I've seen a few people wavering because the sleeves look tricky, don't they? You've started them, so you know more than I do about the sleeves. So I'll let you talk about that.
Well, I will talk about that, but before we jump into clue 6 stuff, do we want to show the video for clue 5?
Oh yeah, I'm racing ahead again.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, we think we need to make a point of mentioning Archer, because Archer had, how far had he knit before? Did he start again from scratch?
He was like to where he should have split for the sleeves, but he wasn't at, he was far away from the point of being able to split for the sleeves. And so he ripped back and completely restarted. And so that is fantastic progress for that short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I felt, bad about having to do those 6,000 stitches, but I bet that was more. I don't know how many was in that whole
I would think so.
Yeah, well done for doing that. I think, see, that's a test, isn't it? I think at that point, if I'd have written back to the beginning, I definitely don't know whether I would have carried on. Although you would have made me, I'd have been too scared to tell
of course. You're in this. I'd be like, don't make me fly to England.
Yikes. Yeah, she knows where I live as well. Worry.
One thing I've noticed for myself, and I don't know if this applies to other people, I'm definitely a very type A person, but when I come across a mistake that needs to be ripped, I just need to do it. I don't need to set it aside and think about it later, come back to it later, because I'm probably not going to do it. I just need to do it. And then like you said, you ripped and I'm like, did I? Like, it is so far out of my mind now. I completely forgot. But yes, I did have to do that.
Yeah, what I did was I ripped it out before I went to bed. And then when I got up the next day, it was almost like it hadn't happened. Yeah. Whereas I think if I'd have ripped it out and then restarted, it would have hurt more. You know what I mean? I would have still been dwelling on it a little bit. But but yeah, the lesson there is you've got to do it, haven't you? Because you want something good. You want something you're proud of at the end. And like we all do it, don't we? Think, oh, will I get away with this? Can I just keep going and nobody will notice? But if it's one stitch, it doesn't matter. But if it's a whole section, you've got.
Speaking of, that's a great segue into my experience with clue 6.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I know what's coming.
Right. Let me just tell you all, if you have not started the sleeves yet, it's a lot. It is totally doable if you watch Jeanette's videos and follow along in your pattern. But this is one of those times I would suggest not jumping far ahead, not trying to completely have it memorized in your head how you're going to do it. Follow it stitch by stitch. She's got all the counts in there for if this is your size, this is the stitch of the chart that you're starting with, and just take it real slow. So I did all that. I got the color work portion. I only had like 2 or 3 rounds of color work to go on the clue 3 chart. So I got all that. It was synced up, good to go. And then I got started on the cars chart. Notice a trend. It's always the cars. So I got the first car motif done. And I was like, wait a second. My cars aren't pink. My cars are coral. So again, here I had to rip back. I ripped all the way back to the last row of the color work, which wasn't as devastating as the body. It is a lot less, and I didn't have to figure out where I was on the chart. So that wasn't too bad. So this is as far as I am on the first sleeve. I'm doing the left sleeve first. So I have finished the cars chart, and I have done all the color work of clue 4, and I've just done the first round of the bricks. So my bricks are pink, I'm remembering. And I have put little markers in there for each of the decreases, which the main thing to remember when you're doing the decreases is that, like for my size, I start on, actually, I don't remember the number of the stitch. I think I start on stitch 15. It doesn't matter. Whatever stitch you start on, once you do a decrease, you're going to move one to the left. So now I'm going to start on the 16th stitch, and I do another decrease. I'm starting on the 17th stitch. So just keep track of that and remember some way, whether you're printing it out and you're drawing a line, or like I have it on my knit companion and there's a movable bar that I can move that. And so just keep a mental note to do that. The other thing that I am struggling with a little bit, and definitely watch the classroom video over on Skool about decreases, is both the cars section and the bricks section do not count as rows 1 for 1 when they're considered with decreases. I don't exactly know why. I'm guessing it's something to do with the stitch gauge, the row gauge, I should say. So for the cars, it is, oh gosh, 8. It counts as 8 rows, even though you're knitting 12. And for the bricks, it counts as 1 for every 2 rows. And so for me, wow, I'm having to write it out, decrease on this row, decrease on this row, decrease on this row, just so that I can get it straight in my head, which is good because I'm going to carry that over into the next sleeve. And so even if it's technically wrong, it will be consistent on both.
Yeah. I suppose it, in a way, the thing to remember is that when you come to do the cars or the bricks, it's different. You know, just remember, and then double check at that point. Because so really there's is it 3? There's 3 things going on at once, isn't there? There's your chart and having to move it across. You've got your decrease rate, which is going to be, well, you brought something up before, which is this confuses me as well. And it's the old terminology in a way, isn't it? It's what patterns used to be like. Like if it's every 8 rounds, is it every 8th round or every 8 rounds? Which is it, the 8th round or is it the 9th round that you do the decrease on?
That confuses me. So I just picked one. Truly, I don't think it matters all that much, you know, at the end. Maybe if you are worried about the size of your arms and you want just a little bit more, you know, go for that 9th round instead of, you know, finish your 8 and then decrease on the 9th. I just picked the 8th and I'm decreasing on the 8th, but it's confusing. I don't quite understand that.
But I think I think the problem is you overthink those, not you, but we overthink those instructions, because I had a pattern years ago and I could not get my head around it. And it was a sleeve that so I'd got all the way to the cuff and then suddenly the instructions said to decrease 13 evenly. And I kept, and because I'd never knitted a sweater sleeve where you did it so fast, you know, I've only ever done it where you do it gradually, and there was some gradual decreases in it, and it just completely stumped me. And I mentioned it to my mum. I said, do you know what this means? Because my mum used to be a knitter, she doesn't now, and obviously she knew. She said, oh, it means, you know, you have to work out, you know, how you need to do 13 on one row and you have to work it out yourself. But for some reason I just couldn't think of that myself, and I think this is another situation. I think if you charted it out, it would make sense. And I think because we're used to our way of doing patterns now, when it's an old kind of way of, because that is an old fashioned way, I think, of doing it, isn't it? I think
so. Yeah. Well, and
we do get more line by line now, don't we?
Yeah. Your reference to the working out decreases in a certain amount of stitches, because I have seen some people say they're going to omit the sleeve decreases and just do a rapid decrease before the cuff. So this is relevant, but you can search for that in Google or whatever search engine you use, and there are calculators out there that will tell you, okay, for this rate of decrease you want to knit 5, decrease, you know, knit 2 together, knit 5, or, you know, whatever. It'll work that out for you, because my brain is not that kind of brain. I could sit there and write it all out, and I can figure it out, but it would take me a lot of like figuring out, whereas like the online calculators will just do it for you.
And I think I noticed, are you going to put a stitch marker in every time you do one of your decreases?
Yeah, because I'm telling myself what round of the chart to decrease on, I don't really need to do that, but I am doing it just
Right.
in case, like if I have to rip back or whatever, it just kind of like solidifies in my mind this is where I did decrease.
Yeah, because that's a good tip, I think, because in the past I haven't done that, and then you end up, not that it, like you say, not that it matters if you're one row out or whatever, but
Yeah.
you know, you often, you know, end up one before or one after or whatever. Or one thing I always, well, not always, but one thing I often do is if it's 2 decreases per round, you know, one at the beginning, one at
And
the
this
end,
is, yeah.
I forget one of them. Doesn't matter which one it is, but I end up doing one and not the other. So then I have to kind of catch up later on, and so yeah, I'm definitely going to do the stitch markers. There was something else I wanted to ask you about the decreases. What was it? Oh, I've forgotten now. Can't remember. Never mind. There's no point sitting here thinking about it, is it?
Yeah, so I mean, I can show the center. You're still having that purl stitch there under the arm, so you can see that purl column running there.
Oh yeah.
And so you're really just doing the decrease on either side of that purl column.
Ah, right, okay. So that's not too bad then, because I know some people don't like that purl stitch, but I like a faux seam, because it does give the illusion of a more structured piece, doesn't it? And also I like it because it's almost like another stitch marker. You know, it gives you an idea of where you are in your project. It's like, I'm at that point now. Because that's like your halfway point, isn't it, really, on a sleeve? Yeah. Oh gosh, this sleeve thing. I am a little bit nervous. I know once you get going, I just need to do it.
That's the thing for me. It was very mind-boggling because I just watched the video first and I was getting a little bit lost. So I went to the pattern, and between the two, I could work it out. But I had no distractions, like quiet. I did not have a video playing in the background. I was literally just very focused and making sure I was doing that right. And then now that it's going, like I can watch a video again. As long as I pick the right color of yarn, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, because when you're doing that pickup, because she does her pickup slightly different. She does it properly, as I would call it, whereas I would have gone through the sort of top bit of the stitch. She goes between the stitch. The V, doesn't she? She goes,
yeah, I did mine just like she tells you to, and it is a nice pickup, truly. I don't know that you can see that too well, but it's really it's seamless. You know, there's just
the fact that I can't see where it is a good sign, isn't it? I can't really see. But you have to carry your yarn as well at the same time, don't you? Every so many picked up stitches, you have to wrap your yarn around.
Yeah, which wasn't hard. I just did it as if I was doing colorwork knitting the exact same way. I did not cross it the way she shows. The other good thing about watching the video is she shows her method for picking up an extra stitch at each edge of the armpit, which, you know, helps decrease the hole. And actually, I don't think I do have a little hole. I'll have to close up with some yarn there. My finger's poking through, but but that could just be it could just be where I have not, or like my beginning yarn has loosened, you know, because sometimes if I just pull that tight, it'll
that won't show. Because one of the things I'm considering, but I think it's going to be a bit of work, so I just think, something else that's going to get me behind. I am considering charting out the sleeve completely for my size, you know, just because I know I'll be able to. I could just do it from that. You know, I'd rather do the working out of it on the chart, so it doesn't matter if I make the mistakes, you know what I mean? And then once it's visually there. But I thought, I could send that to everybody, but then it's not going to be any help because everyone's doing a different size. And even if you're doing the same size as me, which is the biggest size, just in case you didn't know, even if you did that, it doesn't mean we started at the same point or we finished at the same point doing the underarm. So I don't know how helpful it would be. So I did wonder whether to do a chart that was empty of the details, but just had the shape of the sleeve with the decrease points in it. But even that isn't going to work for everyone.
Well, no, because everyone has a different decrease rate. Yeah.
So sorry, everyone. I had good intentions of helping everyone, but I don't think it's going to be able to work, is it? But if you do know how to chart things yourself, and you use something like Stitch Fiddle, or is it Stitch Companion is the other one, isn't it? You know, I think it will help you. I think it depends if you can do that. I know not everyone knows how to. Yeah, so prediction, how far do you think you're going to get it finished by next week? Well, apart from the steak.
I don't know, honestly. Last week I was like, I'm not going to get this done, and then I did, and I still had a lot of time left. So I mean, I don't know. That's how much I've done this morning. You know, it is going by a lot faster than the body, this morning? Obviously. Yeah, just
you've done a whole just I've listened to it just this much. That's all. I'd be proud of that after 2 days, honestly.
I mean, it's a lot faster because like my size before I did any decreases was 82 stitches. So you compare that to how many stitches I had on the body, it's a fraction, a very small fraction. And now I've just did my 3rd decrease. So 76 stitches, maybe 78, something. I can't.
I think mine, sorry to keep going on about because it's the biggest size. I think mine, the sleeves are 122, I think. You know, when you've had, so it's 88 that you pick up. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying the number, should I? Because it's the part. No, I don't think it matters, does it? I think it's 88 to pick up, and then eventually it becomes 122. Does that sound about right? Or is it 132?
I don't know.
So that's,
I don't know.
I bet some people, go on. Sorry,
I was going to say, how many did you cast on under the armpit?
Oof, I can't remember now. Hang on, let me see if I can find it on here. Let's soon see. Yeah, because I was just thinking, I bet some people, the body stitches probably weren't far off 122 stitches. So
I don't know. Like, I don't remember how many size. I had. I had well over 200 and
did you?
50 right, plus, okay. Probably.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's the thing. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm done with the body. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, 122 stitches for mine.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you're like 40 more stitches than mine. Oh,
it's not that many. It's not too bad. But I'm going to harp on about it forever, like I have been doing. But like I said the other day, I'm still thinking of an excuse for when we do the Stephen West shawl, because it's going to be the same size.
Yeah.
It's like, I have no excuse then. I'm going to have to come up with something. I don't know what yet.
I mean, have you not surprised yourself with how much you've been able to get knit?
Yeah. But it's funny, every project I do, I learn something about me. Not necessarily my knitting, but I learn something about me and the way I am about things. Is that I definitely need to have little achievements. You know what I mean? I definitely need a prize every time I do 5 rounds or whatever it is. So, and I do get overwhelmed by a full project, which is why these MKALs I think are right for me, because there is a little achievement each clue, isn't there? But also I found that I can't sit and knit for an extended period of time like you can. I have to put it down for so long. It doesn't mean like an hour, it might only be 10 minutes, but I'll knit so far, just put it down, and then I might have a sip of a drink and, you know, whatever, and then I'll pick it up. And, you know, I for some reason I don't just knit, which other people do. So I think knowing those things about yourself helps, because then you kind of factor it in on whether you know, you've got the time to do something or not. So I have more leisure time, as you like, if you want to call it that, to knit than you do, but you definitely use your time much more effectively than I do. But that
I wonder if I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wonder if I wouldn't be more relaxed about it if I wasn't so stressed about getting it done during my days off, because I don't get much done on my work days. So yeah, I think we just adapt to what we have available. It's interesting. To us.
It's like, have you ever worked anywhere where you live opposite where you work?
What do you mean?
Because I have. Like, your house is literally across the road from the place where you work. Well, no. I've had that happen once or twice. When I was younger, I used to work in a supermarket, which was literally over the road. But because it was literally over the road, I was almost late nearly every day. Whereas when I work an hour away from somewhere, you have to get up because you've got to do that travel, and you're never late. So the nearer you are to something, so it's a bit similar, isn't it? The more time I've got, the more time I think I've got, and I waste a lot of it. And then before I know it, I've got to try and catch up somewhere. Whereas your time is more precious. So yeah, I don't know whether anyone else feels the same way, because I don't know whether I could do it if I was doing the because the hours you work as well is crazy hours, isn't it? They're not normal. She's up at
No,
4
there's
every
nothing
day.
normal about me. I did have a thought about this sweater overall. So when we started this mystery knit along, none of us knew that this was going to be all over color work. I mean, we thought for sure the yoke, maybe a little bit beyond the yoke, but we all just kind of had in the back of our mind, at some point, this is turning into stockinette, right? Because that's been the case with her last two. And I think a lot of people would have been intimidated to start if they would have known from the get-go, that this is all over color work. I've never done an all over color work sweater. Well, I'm about to not be able to say that anymore, but you know, that's something new for me. And so I think by dipping our toes in the water and, you know, starting out slow and doing it clue by clue, it's made it a lot more approachable than if we would have known. I bet half of the people would have signed up, you know, had they known out the gate that it's all over color work. And honestly, it's not really that challenging once you get into it. It's a new technique for some people, getting your tension right. But if you can read the chart and follow the chart, do the stitches, it's just, you know, it's almost like stockinette. At a certain point, it's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Have you found, though, like one thing I noticed when I was doing the 2 rows before the bricks is when you've only got one yarn in your hand instead of having the other yarn, I kept going to get I kept thinking, where's the other yarn? You know, kind of so I started to just hold it in my hand. You know,
that your security blanket.
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid and you put your hand up and your mum's hand isn't there. You know, it was so weird. And he's like, yeah, because I'm so used to having the 2 yarns now. You know,
oh, when I only have one, I'm so happy. I'm just like, oh, this is such a break.
Well, see, we did kind of know that it was going to be all. Well, we didn't, did we? But we surmised.
We suspected just because of the. Yeah, and I'm curious. I have not yet figured out how much yardage I've used, because technically we should be able to figure out if we're on track for using the amount of yarn called for. Simply, if you follow that third rule of the front of the sweater is a third of your yarn, the back is a third of your yarn, and the sleeves are a third. But overall, I know I used like 400. Is that right? 400 grams? Maybe 5. I can't remember now, but that's how much I'd used just for the body part. I do have to say, I'm very happy with my decision to only use, oops, I'm dropping yarn, to only use these 2 colors for my color work section or the texture, because I still have a ton of yarn left and there's no way I'm going to run out on the sleeves. I still have over half of each. So I was all worried and then needing about a third color and definitely did not need to.
I'm getting a bit nervous about the blue because I haven't been keeping tabs of how much I've used, but I know how many I had to start with, and then I'll look at what I've got left at the end, if there is any. But I think I'm down to, they're only 50-gram balls, and I think I'm down to 4. So what's that, 200 grams.
And how many did you start with?
I think I had 10, I think. Does that sound right? Yeah, I would have had 10. And I must have used 6, yeah. So it's going to be close, I think. Because there's a lot of knitting in 2 sleeves.
That would mean you'd use 3 for the front, 3 for the back, and you'd need 3 for the sleeves. So you should be just fine.
It should be all right. Oh, you're good at this. I don't want to think you were a knitter. Wow. Yeah,
if that math rule that I've heard of the third is correct, you should be fine.
Right. Oh, that's good, because I started to think, oh, right, should I? You know, because I do have that green. I don't know if people remember. I've got a green that's not that dissimilar to the blue.
Don't do that now.
But it's it's like, it'd look really weird, wouldn't it, to have these? So the only other option would be to shorten the sleeves, I suppose. But I'll figure it out. Or I just have to
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, or I just have to try and go to the pink, the magenta, and the dark color and do a slightly different color work, so that would still kind of all be in the same color family, wouldn't it? But I think I'll be all right, I hope.
You started out with more than enough yardage than what was required, so I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I should be fine. Yeah, but then the only thing is that would have been not calculating in the 2
Yeah.
extra motif. So hopefully.
Well, what color's your ribbing? It's not the blue, right?
No, the ribbon's going to be the sort of burgundy plum color.
Oh, I think
So
you're going to
that
be
I've got
fine.
loads of that. I've got no problem with that at all. In fact, I've got loads of the magenta left as well. I've probably still got enough that I could put it towards another sweater. It wouldn't make a whole sweater, but definitely with the plum, I could do something with the two of them. Yeah, what you were talking about, the all over color work, and saying, you know, how many of us might not have done it if we'd have known. And I was just thinking about Zanette's 3 yoke-alongs or mystery knit-alongs, and I wondered, you've done one of them, haven't you? You didn't do the first one, but you did the second one. And I was just wondering whether this is like almost like a progression, you know, that each one has got more color work in it than the last. Has that been the case,
Well,
do you think?
if you look at her overall designs lately, some of her most recent patterns she's published, she is getting more into the all over body color work. So I'm not sure that it's necessarily that the MKAL's progressing, but I think her as a designer, or at least her current
phase.
what's the word? Yeah, like fit. Yeah, exactly.
Her
current
blue
trend
phase. Yeah.
is to do a whole body color work. And so, you know,
Yeah.
really in her prerogative, it's smart because that might get you interested into some of her others. I know I couldn't tell you the name of it, but she just published another worsted weight all over color work, and it's meant to be scrappy how this one is. And so if people didn't get enough with this, you know, it'd be an easy transition to, hey, go pick up this pattern.
Yeah, because she had an offer on, didn't she, this week? Because I bought a couple more patterns, and I was laughing because I just no idea when I'll ever knit any of them. But you know, and I'm just so glad that my hoarding of patterns is digital and not paper copies, because I would just have paper everywhere. Jan says,
yeah, we
what
saw the
will
same
clue
thing.
7 be? Well, if you're doing the sweater, I don't think there is a clue 7. I think the clue 7
the pullover is done at clue 6.
Yeah, it's just the cardigan people, so it'll just be the steek and then picking up for the button band, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm very interested to see how she does the picking up, because I have seen this 2 different ways, and I'm trying to remember how I did it. I think when I did it, I reinforced the steek, cut it, and then picked up the stitches to knit the button bands. But I've seen a lot of people where they pick up first and then reinforce and then cut. So it'll be very interesting to see her method and how she goes about that.
I do think she does. For those who know me of old, I know not everyone will, but I have a technique that I use on a blanket stroke scarf pattern that I think I invented, and I've never seen anybody else do it. However, having looked at one of Jeanette's videos recently, I think she does something very, very similar. And I think when she picks up the yarn, I'm not going to show you on here because you won't see it because it's too dark, but I think she picks up her stitches from that yarn between the stitches. So you know how normally we go through the V, we might go through either 1 or 2 V's. She doesn't do that. She goes between the stitches. So imagine those two, that's one stitch, that's the other stitch. She picks up that joining thread between them, and I think you get a really neat join. I think that's what she does.
Well, that's exactly the same technique you use for mattress stitch, which I love.
Yes.
So yeah, it does make for a very nice pickup and join, and it's sturdy. And yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but ignore me if it's not that. She may well do this one differently for all I know. It might be completely different because we don't know.
None of us know.
Oh, but we did see, we're not going to show it. Well, should we show it? I don't know. Well, Shauna shared it of a finished Rujuu. And one thing that I've noticed in our chat is a lot of people were a little bit concerned about doing the 3D motifs on the arms, obviously, because you know you can have it rubbing against your side or whatever, and some people felt that it was going to be too bulky. But having seen that image of the finished sweater, it works with those 3D pieces, and I would say just go with it. You know, don't.
I'll tell you what, I'll put it in the Telegram group with a spoiler cover.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to see what the finished sweater looks like, although honestly, I think we can all kind of envision it at this point. But if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. But if you do want to go see what the finished pullover looks like, go check that out, because it just looks very cohesive.
You can go to the Telegram group up there in the corner.
Right there. It looks very cohesive. It looks proportionate.
It looks right, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it just
looks right.
Right.
Yes.
It's really hard to say.
I really have a hard time envisioning what just a solid stockinette sleeve would look like at this point. I just think it would look out of proportion to the rest of it.
Yeah, it wouldn't look right. It wouldn't look right at all.
That being said, if that's what you want to do, go for it. I'm not stopping you. Yeah. But yeah, but I do think it looks good the way it is.
One of the other things I thought about, if people are really worried about the 3D aspects of it, but I still don't think this will look as good as the 3D version, but don't do the pearls and do knits instead, so you'll kind of get a flat version.
Well, I'm worried about that though, because that's what we do here in the steek column, and it is, well, maybe if it didn't have this where it pulls it in, but it is this, you would count 1 for 1 as far as the decreases, because it's the same row gauge.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it pulls it in. Yeah. So I don't know. It might look okay. It might cause you some problems.
Even if you do it plain, you're going to have to recalculate those decreases, aren't you?
Probably.
You know, if you just knit it with one color. Yeah. So I would encourage people to do it, because it's kind of like, you've got this far. You know, you've got this far into. Trust me, I'm having to say this to myself. You know, I really have to give myself a pep talk at the moment with this, because it's like, just sit down and knit it. Just shut up moaning and just knit it. Well, I've got to say it, otherwise Shauna will say it, and then it'll be scary.
Don't make me say it, Neil.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to be finished, because one of the things I've noticed, I don't know whether you will have, obviously we all have, but every time I try it on, it just feels so, that's the yarn though, isn't it? But it feels so warm and so cozy, and I just hope, how weird is this? I'm hoping I still have enough bad weather to be able to wear it, because by the time I finish this, it might be spring and summer, you know what I mean? And then I'll have to just put it away for a year. And who knows what size I'll be after that.
We have similar weather, and
we do.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, you get a couple of really hot days in the summer. We do too. But for the most part, granted, this is going to be a very hot sweater, but I think you and I for sure have quite a bit of time where we can wear a sweater like this.
Yeah.
Definitely if we're leaving the house. This will be my good dog walking sweater.
Yeah, because I don't know whether I'll need a coat with this, because I think it's definitely an outer sweater rather than under a coat sweater, if that makes any sense.
This is what you needed last year when you didn't have heat in your apartment.
Yes, yeah. For those that didn't know, it was a few years. Actually, I think last year I did have heat. I think it was about 3 years on a row before that. There was no heating, because I live in a high rise, and they'd taken the cladding off the outside of the building, and the cladding is what kept it warm. So although we had heating, it just wasn't doing anything at all, and I was literally freezing. You know, when you can see the breath, you know, the cats were freezing. You know, they were coming on me all the time, wanting to get warm. Or it was awful. Yeah, I really could have done with it. And it's mad, isn't it, that a knitter didn't have enough knitted things to keep warm.
I get to see you like slide a skein of yarn up your arm.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, like slippers, where they put their feet into a skein of yarn. Annie from A Stitch in the Sky, she has her own podcast, by the way, if you don't know. So, and it's the same as the name on the screen there. I think you're both right about doing the full pattern on the sleeves. Yeah, I think the thing is, if you don't do it, you're doing what I was doing the other week, where you're kind of thinking you know better than the designer did. You know, she knew what she envisioned. You know, the thing she visioned, you know, is coming to life now. And you know, it's going to be, I mean, like Shauna says though, it's your knitting, you do what you like, isn't it? You know, I'm not going to judge you, although I might.
Well, I remember somebody said they were going to do short sleeves too. So like, like probably where I'm at now might be a good place if I was doing short sleeves.
Mm.
So that might
The
give
only
me
thing
an
I
idea.
thought about short sleeves, I mean, you're the optimist, I'm the pessimist here, and I'm like, good. But I just keep thinking, it's a winter garment, this, isn't it? And I just think, will
I'm not
short
doing short
sleeves
sleeves. I'm
work?
just saying some people were talking
Well,
about it.
yeah, I think you might need very long gloves for the winter if you do that.
Or
Yeah.
skeins of yarn.
Yeah, just wrap it round and round and round. Yeah. So have we covered everything on the Rujuu? Trying to think.
I think
What else is
so.
there? So if you're doing the sweater, so how many people who are doing the cardigan are now wishing they had picked the sweater? I'm kind of thinking, it would have been done. But no, I'm glad because I know cardigans look better on me personally. So I'm glad I'm doing that.
Well, I'm excited for the experience, and I really am looking forward to seeing how she does the steek. I think it's a real good learning opportunity.
Absolutely. I think I'm quite pleased about how many people are doing the steek that haven't done it before, because I've not done a steek before, and I just think we've got to just get over it. And the point is now we could, but you couldn't really wear the sweater with. Where's it gone? Can't see it now.
You could, but it would look really funny because it's like bumpy. It's like wavy.
Yeah, with that thing down the middle, it wouldn't look right. People, unless you put fake buttons on, and people might think it was a button band, maybe, but even it still wouldn't look right with it. Yeah, so one thing I was thinking about is that I don't think I will have the sleeves done by the time we start Stephen West's. So I think what I'll just have to do is do Stephen West's clue first, and then if there's any spare time from that, then just keep going on the sleeve, and I'll just keep showing. I'll be at a point where I'll be able to wear it even though the sleeves won't be done, so I can show it, and and then I'll just have to keep going. And basically I'm going to be answerable, aren't I, to everybody watching, so they're like, where's your sweater, have you done your sleeves yet? Because I just don't think I'll get it done in time. I really don't.
Well, I mean, don't stress yourself out, but you might surprise yourself too, because I was really surprised to get Clue 5 finished, like really surprised.
Well, really, I suppose now I know I can knit 25,000 stitches in a week. Really, anything less, and I'm letting myself down, aren't I? So, I might work out how many stitches are in each sleeve.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna waste time, isn't it?
It's a bit more fiddly on the sleeves, I'll say. But the rounds are over much quicker. So I think it kind of evens out.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay with the sleeves, I think.
Do we want to talk about our next knit along again? Are we over that?
Yeah. So go on, Shauna, tell us about the next one.
Well, our next knit along that we've decided to do, and actually a lot of people already in the Telegram group are picking out yarns, which is super exciting, is going to be the Mohair Mobile by Stephen West. That's starting March 4th. Neil and I have similar but different colors, so I'm very excited to see how both of those play out.
I'm just going to see if I can find the front of his pattern, because he always does really cool photos, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I haven't taken a photo yet. I need to do that.
No, I need to as well. I want to do it outside if I can, because if when you take photos inside, like the thumbnail for this video, if you look, Shauna took hers in the daylight, and you must have had good light coming in through the window. I took mine at night with electric lights, and mine is like really blurred out. You can't really see any of the detail on the sweater. So I want to try and do the next pictures outside if I can. Right, let's see if I can find his. Here we go. Because I love how he does these. There we go. Is that showing?
Oh yeah, that looks great.
So that's one, and then some of the other pictures he's done. So did I hold that up long enough? I'll hold it up a little bit longer. So he always does these crazy sort of setup pictures, doesn't he? And we copied it last year with his shawl that he did in October. So whenever we do one of Stephen West, I think we're going to try and do the same thing again each time, because they are quite fun what he does. Here's another one.
Yeah, he doesn't take himself too seriously, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, because otherwise, what do you show? You know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it? Because you can't show any of the actual design.
Right.
So he does come up with quite unusual ways of marketing himself. But yeah, I am ready for this now. I'm ready for some garter stitch.
Me too.
I don't know about you. Have we we showed our colours last week, didn't we? But
do you want to show them again?
Yeah. So these are the ones that Shauna and I have both got. So Shauna sent me, was it 25 or 30 grams of each?
35 grams of each. Yep.
So, and I'm going to mix it. I don't know if you can see, actually. I'll take them out of the bags. Excuse the crinkling. So they're all kind of greens and mostly greens and greeny blues, aren't they? And some greys.
Yep. And I'm going to be mixing mine with undyed. So there's all my colors.
So yours is going to be quite a light one, whereas I'll be using this quite dark teal colour, which I think goes quite well with the one Shauna had.
Yeah, I think that's going to look really good.
Yeah, and I love. Oh, speaking of colours, I'm always going on about my colours and so on. If you are interested in colour analysis, as in which season you are, whether you're winter, spring, summer, so on, which is to do with your colouring, your hair, and so on, and what colours look good against your skin. If you join the Telegram for this group, for Mystery Knitalong, there is a link to join another group that I'm doing, which is just about knitting and colour analysis. So it's kind of like helping people choose the right colours for your skin tone and everything. Not that you have to, you can do whatever you like with colours, but once you become a colour Nazi like me, like I now have rules that I have to live by. I can't have any orange near me, which is silly, I know. Sorry, excuse the crinkling.
Somebody, Liz, says that she bought a kit and it's coming today. So that's exciting.
Oh,
if I remember right, was it the pink one? Is that what you went for?
Yeah, you'll have to show us. Oh, Archer came up with an idea. I'll be with you, Neil. Sleeves during the day, Stephen West at night. Okay. Or the other way around, whichever.
Yeah, I'll put this out there. I'm pretty good in the past of keeping up with Stephen West clues, but there may be a time where we cannot keep up with Stephen West, because you think about the difference between Jeanette and the Rujuu of 7 weeks and Stephen West of 4 weeks. It's going to be a lot of knitting.
Yeah, because with Stephen West, what I've found, because I have knitted some of his, I've only knitted one of the mysteries before, but I have knitted one of his mystery shawls before, but not when it was a mystery, if that makes sense. There's a lot of knitting. It might not be that it's all complicated. There might be some complicated bits in it, but it's a lot, isn't there? Whereas with Jeanette's, initially, there wasn't a lot of knitting, but there was a bit of fiddliness going on that we had to think about. Yeah. Yes, Annie. Eek. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to keep up with that. Well, Shauna will, because we all know Shauna's a overachiever and she's going to have it all done. Yeah, we need to place bets on whether she'll have her entire sleeves finished by next Thursday.
I hope so. But yeah, place your bets. I'd like to know.
Well, so you can put a bet in yourself and then make it happen.
Right. Oh, didn't finish them. Oops.
Yeah, nobody's going to believe you if you don't finish it for next week. Well, I might shock everybody. I might finish by next week.
My thing is, I never know. There's a potential always. Every single day of my life, every night of my life, there's a potential I could end up having a work thing where it will completely ruin my momentum. So that's probably another reason why when I have the free time and I know I have the time, like I try and get as much done as I can, because I just never know.
Do you knit with the dogs in the room? Because I knit and the cats are around. One of my cats in particular, what I've noticed since I've been doing this project, he has become so needy. He's a needy cat anyway. He has to sit on me every day for about half an hour to an hour anyway. But it's always when I'm listening, the moment he hears those two needles touch, he emerges. And it's obviously because I'm looking and concentrating and I'm not, I could sit looking out the window and he wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? But it's the moment I'm doing something and he wants to be on me and then I'm having to put it down. So this is my excuse for being slow as well. So when we come to do Stephen West, instead of it being the bigger size, it'll be, well, I had a cat. The cat was on my knee. I couldn't knit.
Yeah, my dogs are in the room, but I don't I don't knit on the couch anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. They like to be on my lap, and I don't like my project on top of the dogs because they do shed, and I just don't really care for that. So I do most of my knitting at my dining room table, which is not optimal, but also our couch is not that comfortable either. So that's just where I choose to knit because I don't have to worry about the dogs. But they have dog beds all over the house, and they're fine. But they do come check on me. They come over and like because they're little dogs, you know, they'll put their paws up on my seat of my chair and like, I'm here, Mom.
Yeah, I don't worry so much about the shedding and the fur because I mean, literally, I'm shedding. You know, I think I was saying to you last week, my sweater is full of beard hair that I'm gonna have to pick out.
Well, that's why I wear my hair up all the time because I do shed too.
I need to put mine in a ponytail, don't I, on my chin, but also cat hair as well. But the thing I worry most about with the cats is their claws because they love nothing than to just. It's always the knitted stuff as well. It's never anything cheap and, you know, whatever. It's always the knit stuff they want to claw.
Yeah.
Well,
so, that's why I wouldn't keep any of my knitted blankets on my couch because same thing. Chihuahuas, they're not exactly cat claws, but they're very small and can be quite sharp. And I know they would they like to dig, and so they would just tear things up.
Oh God, can you imagine? Yeah, Carrie says here that Shauna will have her sleeves done by Saturday evening. I bet it's even, you know, she'll definitely have one
for
done.
Sunday. Because today's Friday. If I can get them done by Sunday, I'll be happy. But we'll see.
We need to
I really don't know.
We need to tie one of Shauna's arms behind her back and see how fast she is then. She'd still beat me.
I still don't think I'm that fast. You know what I am? I'm just persistent.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Do you remember there was I took part on it on a live, but I think you did it at home. We did a blanket knit thing, didn't we? Do you remember when we had to knit half a blanket?
I was real slow. I was slower than you, I think.
Yeah, how weird is that?
But also, weird. I don't knit with big yarn and I don't knit with big needles. And for my knitting style, it was completely paralyzing me, essentially. Like, I was very slow at it. I did not like it.
I was in pain for days after that, you know, because I was using, was it 10mm needles? Because obviously I'm a tight knitter, so I always go bigger. I think everyone else was using 6mm needles, I think. I can't really, or was I using 8? I might have been using 8 and everyone else was using 6. Yeah, and the cramp in my hands after, because literally, I think it was 3 hours. I don't think I've ever sat for 3 hours non-stop knitting, you know, without a 2-minute break somewhere, do you know?
Yeah. I flick. And so this is how I hold my yarn. And so when I'm going to knit, my finger does this thing. And so with a big needle, it's like, you know, my finger doesn't really reach. And it's just, yeah, I did not like that.
Yeah, because but it's not, I was going to say, because you've had some problems with your index
finger. That's this finger.
But it's well, what do you do with that finger when you're knitting? Do you push the yarn on your needle with your left hand?
Yeah, I kind of like slide the stitches. So
I bet it's that, you know, I bet it's that motion. Because I bet you're doing that more than your. Is it okay now? Yeah. Because it's quite bad, isn't it, when it flares up?
Oh gosh, yeah. No, there was a point in time where when it first flared up, and this is kind of old history, but what was that? Not this December, you know, the most recent, but the one before that. I'd never had it before ever. And if you would have told me it was going to be that way for the rest of my life, I was ready to have them take my finger. I would rather figure out how to adapt my life without that finger than how much pain that was causing me. It was okay. And just to think that one little digit can cause you that much pain is insane.
Well, I've got some bad news for you. I'm afraid. If you have your finger amputated from pain, you'll still have the pain. Because my dad crushed his ring finger on it. Oh, it's on his left hand because he couldn't wear a wedding ring. He didn't do it on purpose, by the way. It wasn't so he didn't wear a wedding ring. He was carrying a big drum of something and it crushed his finger. And they lifted it off. And while they were waiting for the ambulance, he was picking all the dirt out of his finger. But what he didn't realize was he was actually picking out the crushed bone. So he picked out all of his own bone. So when they came, they literally just had to get rid of it. And he always said, because it happened before, I think I was a very, very young kid. I think I must have been about 2 because I don't remember it happening. But he said forever, even to this day, he still has pain in that finger that isn't there.
Mm.
And if he washes his hands or cleans his fingernails, that finger feels dirty.
Wow.
And it's like, how weird is
Yeah.
that? So if you, even if you had pain in it, the chances are you would still have that pain.
Yeah, but it was like the bending of it was just excruciating. And you know, it's hard to not bend your fingers. So
you're gonna have to watch that though, because it does sound like it's a repetitive strain injury to me. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but
I don't know. Every time it just flares up out of nowhere. I can be at work, literally typing on a keyboard, and suddenly just pain. But I have this little brace that I put on it, and as soon as I put that brace on, if I wear it for like an hour or two and then take it off, it's like fine again. But the other night it happened. I crawled into bed, no pain at all. I'm going to sleep, and I just, you know, put my hand in a fist, instant pain. I really didn't sleep at all that night because I kept thinking, okay, don't bend your finger, don't bend your finger. I think if I would have gotten up and just gotten the brace, it would have been better by morning. I'd have no idea. It makes no sense to me.
Ooh, yeah, we have to look after our hands, don't we, being knitters? Yeah, well, I found out I've got this new medication that I'm taking. It's an inhaler. And I read through all of the, what do you call it? Is it contraindications to the side effects, basically?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first ones, which is common, is tremors in your hands. And I just thought, oh, no, if I get that, will I be able to knit? Because my mum gets that. She can't even dial you on a phone because her fingers move and jump, you know. So I'm just like, oh, please don't let me get that. Ooh.
Yeah. I wonder if that were the case, possibly crochet would be easier, maybe, than knitting.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I suppose it depends whether it's a tremor you can control. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's a tremor that's there, but you can physically, you know, mentally stop it, or whether it's just going to be, you know, I don't know. I mean, I probably won't get it.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, if I do, well, I hope it's after I've finished this bloody Rujuu. Can you imagine? I've got one sleeve done, and then the other I can't finish because of that. I'll be like,
if that's the case, Neil, mail it to me. I'll finish it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to send you the yarn and the measurements and everything, and just do that sleeve and then somehow graft it on. Well, I think we've been on for just over an hour. I think we've covered everything, haven't we? We mentioned Jeanette's doing the live thing, like a Zoom thing. I can't remember, like a virtual fashion show.
She calls it a fashion show, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I presume like people will just get like a couple of seconds to show their sweater. So, you know, obviously not everyone's going to want to do that, but I think I'll join in that. I think
I don't. It's on April 19th. I wonder, and of course it's in London time, which is your time,
right.
And I can't remember what time of day. What time?
I think it was 8 p.m. I think so. That's going to be about 11 or 12 for you, isn't it? I think in Pacific.
And it's probably a work day.
Well, it's
oh no, it's actually a Sunday. It's a Sunday. I might be able to do it.
It's 6 p.m. here now, so it's 2 hours later than whatever time it is for you now.
Oh, it'll be like noon.
Yeah. So, and if you're in the New York side, it's going to be what, 3 hours later than that, about 3 p.m. maybe, something like that. Which isn't too bad on a Sunday, is it? That's okay. And also, we are hoping to have like a version of that ourselves at the end when everybody's finished. Or, you know, and don't feel like you have to have finished, by the way. When we say this, you know, it's show us what you've done so far. You know, there's no shame of not finishing, because I might not be finished, everyone, by the way. So, like I said, I'm the slowest. Shaun is the fastest. So you're lucky. Everyone else will fall somewhere in between, I think. Yeah, so I don't know when we'll do it, but probably maybe what would be week 8, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, when we've done the steak, perhaps.
8 or 9, probably. Just depends on, you know, if you want to chime in the Telegram group and let us know what day would work best for you, or what time, or how it's going. We'd love to hear all that.
Yeah. And also keep sending us your photos, and, you know, we're going to start saying of your progress rather than your finished clue, because we appreciate that not everyone has got, you know, to the end of the clue yet. So even if you're not at the same point as other people, doesn't matter. It's not a race. It's not a race, Shauna. Slow down.
If it's not a race, no one's trying to win, so I'm winning.
Yeah, you're not going to get a prize. Well, the prize, like you said, is the sweater, isn't it, at the end?
Yeah, the prize is my next cast on, I think.
Well, yeah, I can't get my head around the fact that I will literally be going straight from this into Stephen West's.
Yeah,
so
that was one of the reasons why we weren't going to do this originally, but
yeah,
we'll give ourselves some grace. If we're not finished with the clue on time, it'll be okay.
Yeah, because well, presumably everyone else well, there will be some people that didn't do the Rujuu that will probably join us to do this one, but even still, they'll just have to wait for us. I can't think of anything else that we need to mention. We've mentioned the Telegram group. I think that might be everything.
Yeah, thanks for being here with us, everyone. And if you're on the replay, thank you for that too. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. If we didn't get to your comment here or you're not watching live, we will check our comments later and reply back to you.
So thank you very much, everybody. I'll play the video again and then we'll close it. So see you next week.
Take it on the chin again, the best way that I can. These contradictions and religions I can never stand. The pain in my brain, the butterflies and shames in my